Okay, so today is, what is today? Today is Tuesday. Actually, it's Monday. I apologize. Monday, April 3rd, 2023. I'm operating on low power mode, not only as a human, but also my phone seems to be on low power mode at the moment. I wanted to just pull up briefly the results of today's stock market action for Stronghold Digital Mining, because after all, this is the Stronghold Digital Mining daily update for Monday, April 3rd, 2023. So our stock closed at 67 cents a share, up about 5 cents, actually up a little over 8%, which is pretty darn good on volume of about 861,000 shares. It occurs to me that we are approximately, well, let me ask Siri, how many days until May 29th, 2023?
It's 56 days until then.
Okay, 56 days until, we have to have something figured out with regard to the stock before May 29th. So I anticipate that we'll pull the trigger on a reverse stock split if necessary. At this point, we're getting some good price action. I'm not the kind of person to dwell on the stock price and to obsess over that, minute by minute during the day, and certainly not, on a day by day basis. But really though, that is kind of a big deal right now. We have to have a minimum bid price of at least $1 for, I believe, 10 days, to avoid being delisted. Now, I know that that's triggering. I'm not trying to upset anybody, but again, this is kind of the main topic right now, as we kind of get into April, and May is just right around the corner. I'm actually at peace with regard to whatever happens. I really am. There's a tremendous benefit to not doing a reverse stock split, but there are some distinct benefits to doing so. If again, I'm not going to get into the sort of like a debate with myself as to which is the best, route. I think the best thing is if we just naturally, get up above $1 a share. But there is something to be said for what happens to the amount of shares you have outstanding after a reverse stock split. Yes, there's been dilution. Nobody likes that. I get that. But if the concern is, hey, we've got like upwards of 130 some odd million shares out there, a reverse stock split will definitely have an impact on that. I should point out that General Electric, which is a very well-known household name of a company, they engaged in a reverse stock split maybe a year ago or so. I kind of forget, but it wasn't the end of the world, and the company's doing ostensibly pretty well. So that's where we're at right now. Operationally, we can look, and in fact, why don't we do that right now? I want to have a better way of presenting this information, actually. And I have thought of automating aspects of this. But the thing with automating aspects of something like this is that it feels, at least to me, somewhat synthetic at that point. It's kind of like, hey, if you're gonna hang out with a friend, or you get a call from a friend says, hey, come on over and let's chat a little bit about Stronghold Digital Mining, like what's going on. Imagine if like the response is, okay, great, let me send a robot to do that, which has an autonomous script that'll sort of like autonomously talk to you. It's not the same thing. So, yeah, this is a bit of a process that I need to maybe get used to, and I think I have to some degree. But at this point, the countdown isn't so much, hey, we're counting down to our next investor presentation, which, yes, we are going to have another one that deals with Q1 2023. But I'm also kind of thinking, hey, our stock is a big deal, not only because all of us as shareholders want to see the stock price go up, but we have a very practical reason for wanting the stock to go up, which is we don't necessarily want, to run into the D word, right? The delisting situation. All right, so right now, as of around, gosh, it's like 10:15 in the evening on Monday, PJM, Penelec grid prices are just under $30 at 28.21, and PJM PPL is at $27 and change. Now, Bitcoin priced in dollars per megawatt hour, $93.56. That is pretty amazing, in my opinion. So, look, at our business model is working. I mean, Bitcoin itself is at $27,845. Uh, remember the network hash rate has a big impact on what our Bitcoin priced in dollars per megawatt hour will look like. So right now the hash rate, the network hash rate is about 297. So that's kind of advantageous for us. I'm not so concerned at this point about the operational mechanics of our business. I think those mechanics are in place. I think we have the formulas in place to do really well. My focus is shifting increasingly, as I alluded to several videos ago back in March. It's really focusing on our market cap and our stock price. We set a goal of $100 million market cap. As of today, in fact, I should have taken a quick look at that. We are at 87 million some odd dollars, give or take a little bit. So we're close. We're close to reaching that $100 or $100 million market cap. Now, I mean, am I suggesting that that's somehow some great achievement? We've solved all our problems once we reach $100 million market cap? No, but it's a starting point. Okay. But the stock price in and of itself, let's see how this week ends. But that's really going to be my focus. And I do want to have a more, I think, concise. I mean, we're going up on like 6-7 minutes here. I want to try to keep these updates relatively succinct unless I have something very specific to share or something very, very, time sensitive to share with regard to something, regarding the company or the stock price or some operational issue that's come to my attention. But otherwise, I would like to keep these updates fairly short. I do think it is nice that we can connect this way, though, because, I mean, let's face it, it's not like we get talked about in the Wall Street Journal, okay? We don't really get mentioned as a company on CNBC at all. I think we may have had a couple of hits on Bloomberg Business Television back when we went public. I know we do get some coverage on CoinDesk. Thank you, CoinDesk. And thank you, by the way, CoinDesk, for fixing that image that seemed to appear next to the Stronghold Digital Mining name of some guy with a gas mask next to a landfill fire. Hopefully it doesn't revert back to that image. But now there's a really nice one of both Greg and Bill, our co-chairs of the company. And so anyway, long story short, we don't get a whole lot of press coverage. So I do think it's useful to at least have a little bit of connection here where, if you say to yourself, God, does anybody even care about this company? Well, I care about the company. And I'm not CNBC, I'm not the Wall Street Journal, I'm not Bloomberg TV, I'm just Stephen. And so at least I'm going to make an effort to show up every day and talk a little bit about what's going on. This isn't information that, right, is necessarily new or unique, right? You could just get this on the designer.com dashboard or just by going to any, you could go to the PJM website. You could sort of like go to all the disparate data points from where the dashboard ultimately collects a lot of data and kind of like check it out that way. But I don't know. For me, just going to designer.com is pretty cool. I've thought of changing the domain name to something a little bit more generic. And I've had a couple of thoughts regarding that, but I haven't really done anything yet in that regard. So, okay, this is where we're at. I'm tired, but I really want to keep doing this every single day, 7 days a week. Obviously, this is not sustainable. But then again, our stock price at 67 cents a share, from my perspective, that's not sustainable. In fact, it's factually not sustainable because if we continue that way, it's not going to be suitable for NASDAQ, right? So I want to keep pushing until we start getting some traction here, and then sit back and relax a bit. But right now, I think we all have to kind of be involved, right? This is a contact sport. We got to be out there. We got to make sure the Stronghold doesn't completely slip back into absolute obscurity. At least we as shareholders, we as co-owners of the business need to, I think, make an effort to just kind of stay connected. Post something in the comments section if you have a question, a thought, an observation. Try to keep it positive, right? I mean, there's nothing productive about being negative. I could get on these videos and be like negative about a lot of things regarding the company or about Bitcoin or about the economy or about the state of business, the US dollar, the US national debt. I mean, there's an endless litany of things to be negative about. And perhaps there will be a time to maybe pick on some of those things. But for the most part, try to keep it positive. Try to be focused on some goals here. Okay, so the first goal is $100 million market cap. Kind of commensurate with that goal is we got to get to a minimum $1 per share bid price, be it through natural, sort of like escalation in the stock price, so to speak, right? Or via a reverse stock split. Either way, we need to get there. We're going to get there. We got to just kind of keep chipping away little by little, day by day, 5 points, 8 points, or rather 5%, 8%, 10%. Yeah, if we were going up 5 or 8 points a day, that would be pretty remarkable, right? Okay, let's be focused. All right, let's stick with this. I know it's tough. Okay, I know it's tough because it's tough on me to look at this company struggling the way that it's struggled, at least in the financial markets, and not really gaining the traction that some of our peers have gotten. I'm happy for them. I just want to see us live up to our full potential. Okay, that's all for today. Stay positive, be great. See you tomorrow.